What is up, everybody? This is Keith Mitchell from the Outer Productions, and earlier today we got a video from AMD stating that they will be working hand in hand with Bethesda on the upcoming title for Xbox and PC, Starfield. And of course, once that happened, the internet kind of went crazy. I noticed a lot of people on Reddit and various other forums and Twitter got very upset that the fact that AMD and Bethesda are working hand in hand, ignoring the fact that the Xbox Series X and S already uses an AMD chipset. Of course, it makes perfect sense that AMD and Bethesda will work hand in hand on an upcoming title to make sure the game is optimized as it can be. But of course, the big issue here is that with AMD and Bethesda holding hands, it also means that Nvidia and their upscaling technology, DLSS, won't be available for Starfield, which of course is making a lot of people very upset. Is it as bad as people make it out to be? No, it really isn't. So let's sit down and talk about this. So I suppose the first thing I should say leading into this is it makes perfect sense why Bethesda would work with AMD. It just makes perfect sense when you think about the fact that the Xbox Series X and S is the only console platform that's going to run Starfield. And of course, those platforms are powered by AMD chips. So it kind of makes perfect sense. They're going to work with AMD. They're going to work with Bethesda to make sure that this game is as optimized as possible on the consoles. So great. So you're probably saying, okay, that's good and all, Keith, but where does this come in when you're talking about the PC platform? And due to that, hopefully that's also going to make the PC port that much better. Let's look at Nvidia's technology, DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling first. This technology is proprietary to Nvidia, and in order to use this, you need one of Nvidia's GPUs that has tensor cores, because that's the only way that technology, AI powered, I admitted to say, will work. Meaning, if you don't have a GPU that has tensor cores, you can't use Nvidia's DLSS, which means AMD cards are out of the equation because they don't have that technology. On the other hand, AMD has its own upscaling technology called Fidelity FX Super Resolution. Now, it's not as good as DLSS, but AMD has made great strides in this technology, and it is almost there. I would say in quality mode, you really couldn't tell a difference unless you were looking at it, and it also provides an amazing frame rate boost. It's great technology. I wish more people would actually pay attention to it outside of those using AMD cards. So what this means is if you're using either an AMD or an Nvidia GPU in your computer, you will be able to use upscaling technology because FSR also works on AMD cards, Nvidia cards, and also Intel GPUs. It's a jack of all trades. It works on everything. So why are people getting upset? Well, outside of the fact that it's not on par with DLSS because it's using an AI-based technology and not hardware-based, unlike DLSS, it also comes down to what GPU you own. Most people who own an Nvidia GPU want to use DLSS, and using anything other than Nvidia's technology, it's kind of a slap to the face. They just don't want that. And I understand that, and I get that. I also own an Nvidia GPU, and of course, I want my game to support all their technologies. I want to make sure that I have DLSS enabled or that the game supports that technology. And when it doesn't, it does kind of get me frustrated. But then again, on the other side of the equation, FSR works pretty good, and if I don't have DLSS, it's a good substitution. Now, the downside to all this is you want a game that supports both technologies, DLSS, FSR, and that way everybody's happy. The downside is when we get these announcements that either AMD or Nvidia are partnering with a company, it leaves somebody out in the cold, and it's kind of the reason why a lot of PC gamers either left console gaming or didn't want to be involved in console gaming because they were locked into something. They wanted that freedom that PC gaming afforded them, and now that they're seeing this come into the PC gaming space, it is a bit frustrating. I totally understand that 100%. And while there's nothing we can do because we can't influence these companies to change their mind, thankfully, there is an outside solution, and that is PC modders. These people have been godsend in various different games for the computer, coming in and doing things that the developers simply did not or could not or did not want to do. In this instance, there is an Nvidia DLSS SDK available, and I know of one modder who has used that to inject DLSS into games that originally did not support the technology. A good example of this is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which did not support DLSS when it came out and still does not. However, a PC modder by the name of Pure Dark has released a mod. You have to pay for it. It's not very expensive. You just have to join his Patreon and you'll get it. But has released a mod that injects DLSS into the game, and it runs amazing. It runs so much better than the original game does, and there's a big frame rate boost. It's a godsend. If you play this game and you've not heard of this and you run on a Nvidia card, you definitely need to check this out. But what I'm saying is there is still hope, even though Bethesda is not going to use DLSS in its upcoming Starfield for the PC. All right, that said, I've said my piece, guys. Basically what I mean is don't get upset, don't be sad. There is still hope, and even though there is no DLSS in the game, FSR will also work in the pitch. And honestly, we should be more upset at people using proprietary technology in our PC games in the first place. All right, that said, if you enjoyed the video, if you like what I said, leave a comment below, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next time.